there, my name is Frank Valenza, and I am with my friend Raphael, and I'd like for him to share with you today his story. Raphael, tell me a little about your background.
I'm 28, and I had medical complications at birth. There was a lack of oxygen which caused paralysis in my brain. I was told I would spend my entire life in a wheelchair without being able to move my arms and legs. But today, I have a law degree and I work with the Olympic and Paralympic Committee in Rio de Janeiro, where the 2016 Olympics will take place. I have had physiotherapy for years, and I was only able to walk when I was 6 years old, after having surgery in 1993. No doctor believed that would happen, or even that I would be able to hold a pencil or play the keyboard. And that was the big announcement from God to eventually point my family to Him. My parents were Catholic, my mother being a little more fervent on her belief. God used my disability to bring her and my whole family to Christ. Many times we don't understand why certain circumstances come into our lives. But today I understand that my paralysis was to show others that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The same God that takes care of us and loves us, besides all the circumstances, has a purpose in our lives. He uses our difficulties to achieve great things. Well, when you're a child, you don't realize how different you are. Everything is just like a party. But when I became a teenager, I began to realize that I was different by the way people looked at me. In January of 2001, I went to the Youth for Christ camp. I was 13. They held an event where they went hiking through the jungle, and I really wanted to participate on that. My friends told me this would be too dangerous for me. So I talked to the camp director, Marcelo, of how much I wanted to take part in this event. And he set up a special group so that I could participate. That was a big victory for me, because all my life I had been told about what I could not do. Others would always say, "You can't do this, you can't do that." It means a lot when someone you hardly know, like Marcelo, shows they believe in you. Life becomes worth fighting for. And this makes you start to believe in yourself and your dreams. I always dreamed about being involved with sports and being an athlete. And I'm sure that this hiking event was a new start for me to move on with my life and never give up on my dreams. Well, the trekking was a lot of fun, one of the happiest days of my life. The team members kept stopping to check to see if I was okay, if I needed water or anything. But I kept on going. I wanted to run. I wanted to win the event. Even though deep inside I felt that I could never win because of my condition. Marcelo kept encouraging me to go on, even carrying me on his back when it was necessary. After completing the event, I realized that there were many things that I could do, things that I never even imagined. This was a turning point of my life. I began to realize that I could make my dreams a reality, something that I never imagined before. Although I was handicapped, I had little contact with other special needs young people. But that changed in 2009, when a friend helped me to start training a Paralympic sport called rugby in a wheelchair. This sport is for people that have some sort of handicap in at least 3 of the 4 limbs. And I thought, wow, the last thing my parents would want to see is me in a wheelchair. But the sport has to take place in a wheelchair. Then I understood God's purpose for my life. The most important thing, my biggest dream with this, I've won medals, I've traveled the world. But I have a mission much more important than this now. To pass on this message. We shouldn't give up on our dreams because there is a God that loves and cares for us. One of the questions I hear the most from my friends who play with me is, if God is so good, why did He put you in a wheelchair? And the only thing I can tell them is, God is good. He has kept us alive. And this is the message I want to share in Brazil, or in any other place where I go. That God can change your life in spite of your limitations. Our real limitations are not physical, but what we think in our heads and hearts. When our hearts are open to follow Jesus, and when we have a heart open to love people, we can do anything in life. When we have faith, deep commitment, and love in our hearts.
These dreams that you had about serving the Lord are starting to come into reality. After the Olympics, what are you praying about and planning to do?
When the Olympics are over and my contract with the committee is completed, I want to spend some time outside the country, perhaps in Cape Verde. I want to help handicapped people to come out of their homes. I want to give them hope. Some handicapped people like me were born this way. Others suffered an accident and became like me. That's completely different. One day you are able to walk, and then suddenly you could wake up and find out that you can't move like you could before. My great commission is to share with people in similar situations that life isn't over. It hasn't come to an end. Even sitting in a wheelchair, you can make a difference in the world. This is my great commission.